Does anyone know what happens May 21st here in Anne Arundel Community College? No? Well, it's graduation day. That day, I'll be officially become a medical laboratory technician and an employed person. You may be thinking, why is she so happy about being unemployed? Well, I have confidence. I know I won't be unemployed for a long time. I have done my homework and I have learned how to create an outstanding resume, or as experts call it, a successful resume. A successful resume will get lots of interviews, increasing the chances of getting a job. I'm not an expert, but I know a little bit about resumes, and I'm here today to share with you what I have learned. Today, I'm going to inform you what information you need to gather before starting a resume, the important rules to set it up, and how to use all this information to create a chronological and a functional resume. First, let's see what information we need to gather. According to Michael Farr, author of the book, The Quick Cover Letter and the Quick Resume and Cover Letter, a resume is a summary of your skills, training, accomplishments, and employment history. So before you start your resume, you need to gather personal information. You do a self-evaluation. First, you need to assess personal attributes like innate skills, learned skills, and function-related skills. Second, you need to state work history chronologically, from the most current job to the oldest job. According to Lansing Community College, the article in the career section, they say that the applicant must write history of employment, training, volunteer work, and if the applicant is an undergraduate, it must include extracurricular activities. And third, and the most important of all, are the identification of achievements. Evelyn Salvador is a certified resume writer, and she advises in her book, A Step-by-Step Resume, to use CARD to help identify these achievements. Well, basically, achievements are accomplishments that you attained by being creative, passionate, and motivated in your job. So she highly suggests to use CAR, C-A-R, which stands for challenge faced, action taken, and results achieved. For example, auto painter, he changed the primer that he used with a paint, and by doing that, he saved the company over $300,000. So his achievement was saving that good amount of money to the company because he was creative and motivated. As you can see, there's lots of thinking to do and self-evaluation to do. Now let's go some other rules. Important rules to consider before. There are important rules to consider before, during, and after the creation of a resume. Rule number 1, keep a resume 1 or 2 pages long. Don't just narrate a long story about your duties of previous jobs. As Arnold Bolt advises, demonstrate, be clear, to the point. And also, he says that use only relevant and related information to the potential employer. Second, statements of skills, responsibilities, and accomplishments needs to be these statements need to be used or stated by using good words, action verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. In the work section, work experience section of a resume, you're gonna put your job title, the employers, the dates that you worked there, and down you're gonna put your functions and responsibilities. And these are very important. You're gonna use the action verbs and the bullets that I just mentioned. And here's an example of a person that was going for a computer job. So he said he omitted the pronoun I. So he said research, troubleshoot, design, diagnose, and corrected all system bugs. As you can see, those are bullet words and action verbs. Sorry. Another important rule is do not lie in your resume. Eventually, they will verify all your information. And what if you lie about your degree or experiences and then you end up getting a job you can't perform? And the last rule is to proofread your resume. The resume is the last place or the least place you can make errors. Now, let's see what we can do with all this information that we have learned so far. Depending on the amount of information that you have gathered, you can create two types of resume. First, if you gather a lot of good information about history, work history, then you're good to go to create a chronological resume because it bases all your work experience. The basics of a resume are contact information, job objective, education, training, work experience, recognition and awards, and references. The functional resume is the opposite. It is good for recent grads or people who are changing careers and people going from the military to the civil life. Richard Walsh is the author of the complement. Okay, Richard Walsh, he says that even though, for example, a recent grad has limited work history, it's very important to include it in the resume because the recruiter wants to know if the applicant was able to land a job. And this resume is good, basically it's based on the skills. The applicant will put all the related skills to the resume. I'm pretty sure that by now you might be thinking that creating a job is not that easy. But with hard work and dedication, you will be able to. In conclusion, we have seen how to assess personal attributes to use them in creating a unique resume that will make us different from other applicants. We also have learned that rules must be followed in order to create a perfect resume, and how to use all this information to help us choose what type of resume we can make. As a resume doesn't get jobs, a resume gets interviews. And as Harvey Mackey says, which is, he's a famous businessman, you will never please everyone, but you will need to please just a